Okay, Unit 2, Learning Target 5B. I can factor quadratic trinomials with a equals 1. When we multiplied two binomials, we often found that our result was a trinomial. Example, when we multiplied the quantity of x plus 3 times the quantity of x minus 1, we found our result to be an x squared plus 2x minus 3. Well, what if we had the x squared plus 2x minus 3, and we wanted to find the factors of x plus 3 and x minus 1? How do we factor the trinomial into two binomials? So our first example, v squared minus 9v plus 20. We are going to set up parentheses for binomials. So the first step will be to make a set of two parentheses. Now, the next thing I like to do is I like to put the plus and minus signs in my parentheses. So if I have a trinomial with an ax squared minus bx plus c, that's like this one. There's a minus 9b and a plus 20. Then my two parentheses are going to be minus and minus. So you're going to put a minus sign and a minus sign. Now, I know that the factors of v squared are v times v. So I'm going to put a v and a v in the first portion of each parenthesis. Now, all I need to find are the factors of 20 that add up to 9. So 20, what are my factors of 20? Well, 2 times 10 is 20, but that adds to 12. 4 times 5 is 20, and 4 times 5 add up to 9. Because I already have the signs taken care of, I can just worry about putting in a 4 and a 5. So my factors end up being v minus 4 times v minus 5. And those are my factors of the trinomial v squared minus 9v plus 20. Now, let's try another one. This next example is r squared plus 9r minus 10. Well, this time my trinomial is in the form of plus minus. So when I have a trinomial as ax squared plus bx minus c, then my signs inside are going to also be a plus and a minus. Once again, I know that I need to set up my two parentheses, and my r squared factors are r and r. So I want to find the factors of 10 that would make up a 9, either with addition or subtraction. Well, 10 doesn't have very many factors, and I know that 10 times 1 is 10, and that if I subtract 1 from 10, I do get 9. So the 10 goes with the plus, and the 1 goes with the minus, and those are my factors. On my next example, I have my x squared plus 6x plus 9. So I have two pluses in my trinomial, so I have two pluses in my parentheses as well. So I set up my parentheses, and I put a plus sign in each. Now I need the factors of 9 that I will add to 6. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 plus 3 is 6. So I'm going to put my x's for my x squareds, and I'm going to put 3's for each of my factors. Notice that these two factors are exactly the same. Because they're exactly the same, I rewrite this in simpler form as x plus 3, the quantity squared. And we have one more example here, x squared minus 25. Notice that this one is a binomial. Both x squared and 25 are actually perfect squares. So we do factor this one just slightly different. It will still have two parentheses, but one sign is a plus and one sign is a minus. In the first position, the factors of x squared are x and x. In the second position, the factors of 25 are 5 and 5. We did not do an example of ax squared minus bx minus c, so I do want to let you know that if you have that form, your signs on the inside are positive and negative. And our last example is 4n squared plus 64n plus 252. You want to make sure that you check for a GFC. We have to check for a GFC. This particular problem, each of these terms can be divided by 4. So we are going to factor the 4 to the front like a distributive property. We are undoing the distributive property. 4n squared factoring out of 4 gives us an n squared. 64n factoring out of 4 gives us a 16n. And 252 factoring out of 4 gives us 63. Now we need the factors of 63 that will add up to 16. And those factors are 7 and 9. So we know we have a 4. We know we have two parentheses. They each need a plus sign. We know we have n and n for n squared and 7 and 9 for the rest of our factors.